So I think, no, tomorrow morning, you're going to wake up with some glitter.
Yeah. It, I'm so open-minded and ready for any sort of positive change that I'll invite that glitter in and live that glitter life.
Hi, I'm Sabrina, the president of the Five Spheres of Fit, and I'm here with Noel, my husband and the founder of the Five Spheres. The Five Spheres is a lifestyle strategy that constantly evolves with you. Those five spheres are the physical, the mental, the financial, the social, and the educational spheres. So, Noel, I wanted to try something different today. We just had Pooja Karbanda on our podcast, and she is the founder of Nadi, which is a meditation and mindfulness organization that she started. But I wanted to get your thoughts and share them with the audience before we get to that episode.
Sure. Sabrina, oh my gosh, what a great guest. I'm kind of hoping that everyone will see the one overriding detail, and that is this was an amazing woman who persevered in the face of multiple traumatic situations.
Yeah.
The thing that stuck out to me most, Sabrina, was that, you know, as a young woman who was facing a life-changing circumstance, she recognized, we posed the question to her, you know, how were your five spheres at that time, and how did you manage through this trauma? And she recognized pretty immediately that she wasn't looking at the situation through the lens of the five spheres. And what I mean by that, she wasn't thinking about physical, mental, social, financial, educational. It was more like, I'm just focused on my mental well-being, and admitted she didn't really have the tools and resources. And I kept thinking to myself, my gosh, I wonder if like the time frame to sort of solve her, maybe not solve, but manage her trauma could have been better done had she had that resource, had she had the five spheres lifestyle strategy in place.
Yeah.
It's almost a no-brainer.
I can imagine, you know, children, if they're able to grow up with a strategy and then incorporate meditation and mindfulness like she has, I mean, the sky's the limit. Can you imagine? I mean, a challenge comes in and you can deal with it because you have so many tools
You
available.
don't get so overwhelmed in the moment, while stressful traumatic events absolutely, you know, can cause consternation and issues. To have the strategy for your own self-awareness in place so that you can organize, evaluate, problem solve, and do that by looking at life in the five spheres and recognizing, hey, I can fix this, or hey, I need to be considerate of this and how it's going to impact me. Understanding that interplay, it's so critical to our success in managing. So
I agree. Well, let's not wait any longer. Let's get to our guest.
I can't wait.
So I'm excited to introduce Pooja Karbanda. She is the founder of Nadi, which supports women's mental health through meditation and mindfulness. Before launching Nadi, she was a banker turned entrepreneur turned fashion designer. She's very respected in the spiritual community, and we are so excited to have her with us today. Hi, Pooja.
Hi, Sabrina. I know. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So we met not so long ago in college.
Yes, not so long ago.
Like yesterday.
Few lifetimes ago.
Exactly. And it's so nice to reconnect with you. We had a little call recently and we were chatting about what you've been doing and what we've been doing. So I want to start with, you learned a little bit about the five spheres of fit now. How are your five spheres doing?
So, you know, recently I had some grief and loss, you know, of my own, losing a parent, losing my mom. So, you know, it's interesting to have this conversation now and reconnect with you guys after so long and after doing so much of this internal work. You know, there's this spiritual sphere that you speak about. There's physical, there's mental, and it's like every practice that I have um, evolved into my life. I feel like each part caters to either physical, mental, spiritual, and you have to be like really self-aware or you really have to be conscious about, okay, I'm going to work on this. Or you have a natural practice that just helps you in each of those spheres. So I feel like, the 5 spheres actually covers a lot. But then when you think about it, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I haven't been doing that much physical maintenance.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It is maintenance.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is maintenance. And just like everything else, like you go to the dentist, you go to the doctor, it's maintenance. And you really have to, be mindful of incorporating that into your life, into your soul.
Right. Where did Nadi come from? Tell us how that all started.
So I feel like we talked about this, a lot with various people. And I mean, a while ago, we won't say years, but a while ago, I went through, I would say, my trauma, my recognizable trauma.
Okay.
And, we all have trauma, some that you're not aware of, some that
Mhm.
you're very aware of. And I went through this difficult time during my Saturn return. And that was a very difficult divorce and a very difficult time where my mom first got diagnosed with cancer. And,
Okay.
it all happened at the same time. And really, the journey of Nadi began then, unknowingly. And that's when I got really heavily into the Indian mantras, the meditation, the reprogramming therapy coming out of the West Coast, um, really into Deepak Chopra's teachings, where he very nicely combined Indian heritage to modern therapy while
Okay.
respecting, India. And so Nadi was really about teaching others, teaching other women, giving them the tools in mindfulness um, and meditation to help them overcome trauma, to overcome um, situations in their life that would come, for everyone and really heal. So we give physical tools, we give practices, and it's really, building a community saying you're not the only one who's going through that. We all are. We're not in our little bubble, sharing our story because the moment you speak those words, you're actually healing.
Yeah.
So, and, in like early on, I mean, me in college, right after college, I mean, I don't think I had an ounce of spirituality in me. I just thought, okay, my name is Pooja, it means prayer. And, that, and I mean, I knew mantras that my dad um, taught me, but really being spiritual and, having that awareness, this consciousness, like that wasn't there. And I think it just helped me become internally happy,
Okay.
feel worthy, find out like blocks from early childhood. So I feel like, there's a lot that I learned and I just wanted to share it. And, there's meditations, there's mental practices, there's meditations, um, there's tips of from yoga that you could do. There's physical tools like this
Nice.
crystal.
What kind of crystal
Uh,
is that?
this is a pyrite,
Okay.
and it glitters so much, and we all love that
Yeah.
glittering effect, especially brown people and us.
How does that, like you're holding it, how does that make you feel?
That's what it comes down to, feeling right, like feeling good. So I'm holding it. I was holding it in my right hand, but I'm right-handed. You hold it in your left hand or your non-dominant hand. And it's part of reprogramming. And, Dr. Joe Dispenza talks a lot about reprogramming. A lot of doctors, psychiatrists, psychologists talk about reprogramming. And pyrite represents abundance. And, you can take abundance in different ways, whether
Sure.
that's spiritual wealth, monetary wealth, and, abundance covers so many things. And holding it in your non-dominant hand, like during a meeting or during a presentation or having it by you, you feel,
Yeah.
when you said, how do you feel? That's like the perfect question because I feel abundant. I feel okay.
Is there
This
confidence?
and
Is there confidence as well?
yeah,
Yeah.
yes. You allow, like, one of the most important things is allowing yourself to feel the feeling. And like you just said, no,
Amazing.
confidence, right? So it could be confidence. It could be monetary abundance. It could be self-worth. It could be so many things, but actually honoring that feeling that coming in, I think that's important.
Yeah.
That's
And
amazing.
and your soul your soul knows what you're craving, right? Like, I'm not looking for somebody to tell me, but you hold it and you listen to your soul, and your
Right.
soul will tell you, okay.
Pooja, let me ask you. So I think it's what our audience that would be listening to this would love to hear about. So you mentioned going through a traumatic time, and that of course was your divorce. And I think we can all agree, as this. I think there's a song that says that the bounce back was special, and you have obviously come from a traumatic situation and really overcome that and become successful. Can I just go back to not necessarily when that was happening, but you mentioned not having a whole lot of spirituality within you, but I think you actually probably had it. It was almost like it was dormant inside of you, and that traumatic experience perhaps brought it to life. Can you also take us back? So that's really like in your mental sphere, right? Spirituality. Can you talk?
She
Can you?
said, oh God, did we break?
Can you?
Musical debut.
Can you talk about that time? So obviously you went right into sort of helping yourself in your mental sphere. Can you also talk about as a young woman, I believe at the time you were in New York City, were there the concerns about things in the financial sphere? Were you concerned about what you were going to do socially? Because maybe you guys shared a similar social network. What were you thinking about at that time with relation to those two spheres, financial and social, as you're going through this traumatic experience?
Yeah, I mean, you know, first of all, your point about, yes, spirituality was inside of me. That is so correct. That's inside of everyone. And recognizing that and peeling off the layers, like shedding those um, layers is important. And that's
Mhm.
how you connect to your
Right.
spiritual self. Um, and in terms of challenges, it was when you're in trauma, when you're going through these emotions, um, I call it when you're on a wave, right?
Okay.
And that wave is coming to a crash. You're like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm on this wave. All kinds of emotions are going on. I wasn't really at a mental space where I could recognize, okay, this is the social aspect, this is the financial aspect. It was kind of just like everything was um muddled together.
Yeah.
And, all I recognized was, oh, I'm not sure if I can, um, speak to the same people that we have in
Mhm.
common. I don't know if I can continue doing something professionally that maybe we shared, um, some uh, coworkers there, or, like it was very me and my energy shutting down.
Okay.
And instead of having the tools that we have today and opening up that energy and
Mm.
reflecting the energy that I wanted to attract. So, yeah, so I don't think I thought of it in like such different spheres
Mhm.
because I didn't have the language and I didn't have
Right.
the tools.
Yeah.
And it was all just,
Yes.
just
Yeah.
But that's like most people.
right,
Most people don't
exactly,
have that, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And actually, you know, losing my mom recently,
Yeah.
I will tell you, myself, my family, even though, growing up Indian, going to temples, being uh, spiritual from that aspect, we now had the tools to deal with the grief much more than, the trauma that we were going through as a family
Right.
years ago.
And do you
So,
attribute that to meditation?
yes. Oh my
Okay.
God.
Okay.
It is magic. Like, I let somebody pinch me because, I mean, you guys knew me in college. Like, I don't even get the word meditation.
Well, I mean, come on. In college, we were like,
We were meditating.
"Here, let's go party."
We were meditating in
Too
different
bad.
ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was our
Right.
meditation back then. But
Yes.
yes.
Honestly, it is literally magic. It is a gift that our physical bodies, our spiritual bodies can give to ourselves. And I think a lot of schools are now starting to incorporate meditation into the program
Exactly.
that they're offering. And I think it just adds so much clarity. It adds calmness. We have so much anxiety as society. We have so much programming, cultural or social. There's so many events going on in the world. I think, yeah, the meditation definitely, key contributor for me.
Yeah.
Definitely some yoga, more traditional yoga, not so much on the physical side, more the breath work side. Definitely a little bit of astrology, a little woo-woo-ness with the crystals. It just makes it more fun.
Yeah.
Like we're all doing this work,
Sure.
this internal work, but I want it to be fun. So I
Yeah.
wear my moon suit for Sabrina.
I know. I did notice.
I
have a question about. I do have a question, astrological question, but I'll wait.
So, Pooja, the thing that I really love about this is you've really identified what was probably most important for your healing and then just your progress as a human. I think oftentimes we understate the concept of a growth mindset. And, you said, oh, back in college when I was this way. And I think before we even started the podcast, you had mentioned, oh, I've been like in 5 different ways, or I've had 5 different lives.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
so true that you're supposed to have that. That
Right.
progression in you, I'm hearing it. And I love the fact that you've turned and found meditation. I mean, that's an amazing coping mechanism. So you're not just putting band-aids on things, you're going to the root cause
Right.
of what may have caused you anxiety, ongoing stress. And you say, you know what? This is going to work for me. This is going to help me in my mental sphere. I'm in my educational sphere. I'm going to learn about this practice and become an expert in it. Can you talk a little bit about how you use meditation in your daily life? Is it something just for everything, or is it only when you have stress? Talk about it a little bit, if you will.
So yes, we definitely have growth, and it's really evolution of the soul.
Mhm.
Right? You're
Nice.
evolving into your higher self. And we always want to be evolving. So, my personal practice, I meditate every day, hands down, every morning, at least 20 minutes. This year, I've probably meditated the most since any other year because of everything that was happening. And there was so much movement in Miami, New York, a lot of uncertainty. So I used the meditation uh, to really help me in all aspects: stress, anxiety, calmness of the mind, and also in reprogramming and doing inner child work, which I don't do every day. So every day is more calming of the mind,
Okay.
listening to the messages that are coming to me. This year, I stopped putting a timer on on my meditation. So if I happen to meditate for 45 minutes, great. My energy, my soul needed that. And
Okay.
it's like oxygen. And so every day I practice that. And sometimes in meditation, I will get, for example, a memory that's come up that maybe is from 5 years ago, or it could be from my younger self, uh, what we call inner child. And it could be, growing up uh, as an Indian going to an American school in Panama, just moving from Hong Kong, it could be some memory from there. And if something comes up that my soul has given me a message about, I will do a reprogramming meditation for
Okay.
that. And that might be 4 sessions, 3 sessions, and that's more self therapy. Even when I guide meditation, I'm not guiding somebody to a certain memory. I'm letting their energy or their soul um, basically recognize this memory and guiding their soul basically to come to that point.
Okay.
Pooja,
But
let me,
yeah,
so this is really great because what if I'm understanding you, I want to make sure that our listeners are understanding you clearly. So you might go back to a memory, perhaps from childhood or just from the past, and you're reprogramming how you think about that memory so that it turns into something more not necessarily positive, but it's no longer detrimental. Is that what you're
How you
saying? Because
feel?
yeah,
I have heard that that's
yeah,
I think someone said the most powerful stories are the stories we tell ourselves. And we
yeah,
believe things that have happened in our past are so meaningful, but for that one thing. But when we can bring more of a holistic viewpoint to it, perhaps a
yeah,
five spheres viewpoint to it, we
yeah,
can sort of reshape how that impacts us. So, someone mentioned, how you see yourself or how you think the world sees you. Like, are you supposed to play this role? And in fact, you're only thinking you're playing that role. The rest of the world
right,
doesn't necessarily
Yeah,
see
that's true.
that. So that's a great point you bring up. And I love the fact that you work on that on a
yeah,
daily basis. Can I ask
oh
one
yeah,
more question?
yeah, yeah,
So I do a lot of CrossFit style workouts in my garage, and I have moved over the past, I'd say 2 or 3 years. I've reprogrammed how I program my workouts from going from 7 to 12 minutes of really hard workouts to like 20 to 30 to 40 minute workouts. And when you're meditating, do you does your body know, like, okay, you said I think 20 minutes. Does your
yeah,
body kind of know, like, as a calming effect come over you after 20 minutes? So like my body knows, hey Noel, it's been 25 minutes of hard work. I can feel a difference.
Like, does she feel it
Yeah.
physically?
Do you feel like, is there like a
yeah,
physical feeling or maybe a
yeah.
mental clarity that happens?
Yes, yes. Physical feeling. You can feel a calmness in your energy. You can mentally feel it. It's like oxygen, right? Like
Right.
suddenly you just are breathing and you're like, okay, this is great. And, I like to do some I am affirmations too. And, there's a lot of I am affirmations
Okay.
in yoga in
Yeah.
Sanskrit. And I think you guys froze, but
Oh,
so I like to pick two or three that maybe I'm feeling that week, uh, and I'm feeling okay. I'm in the lack mindset, so I like to bring in some of those Sanskrit mantras into my meditation, and that kind of helps me tie in everything holistically.
okay. So, the way I see it is we have the five spheres, and then which is completely subjective how you want to live your five spheres, right? And your expertise in meditation is one avenue someone could go
For sure.
to help themselves in the five spheres. So I mean, I've had meditation in my life since I was a little girl, but I don't practice it regularly, and I keep telling myself I need to. So this is that
We need
catalyst
it.
where I'm going to because I think for me, subjectively, it will work. And I want to teach that to my daughter, our daughter, who also goes through anxiety.
Yes,
Our
our
daughter.
daughter.
Yeah.
Mine.
Noel's
But
like, okay.
yeah, you teach it to your daughter, and maybe I'll try to do something.
But who also goes through
Yeah.
anxiety quite a bit. And I think this would, so point being is someone going through meditation, and this is more of just a statement, can find clarity and peace, in their educational sphere, in their financial sphere, in their physical sphere, mental, like you're saying, social sphere. When you went through a traumatic experience, it also affected your social sphere, culturally, as an
Yes,
Indian
yes,
woman, and in the
yes.
Indian
True.
circle. And, meditation can help bring you peace with that. So that was more of just a statement, but I wanted to ask you a question because I love your shirt, okay, with the moon. And I
I like
think
the jacket.
Yeah.
it's
Oh.
fabulous. So,
She'll be borrowing that when we come to New York.
yes,
Pretty
yes.
sure.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So a while ago, I had seen a post on your Instagram and you had mentioned Mercury's in retrograde. That
Yeah.
same day, I'm somewhere, and I haven't told you this. Someone told me, yeah, I think it's because Mercury's in retrograde. And I've heard that term over and over. And finally, I was like, I need to learn what this means. Okay.
Yeah.
And when I read about it, I thought, okay, I can see how this affects us. So, can you tell us a little bit about that concept?
Yeah. So um, first I want to ask you, we all believe in energy, right?
We
Absolutely.
do, yes. And hopefully, a
Yeah.
lot of people listening
Absolutely.
do.
And if we put our hands together but not touch, you can feel the vibrations and you can feel your energy, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So
I
you
do.
got the physical aspect.
Energy.
Yeah. Right? Now, planets, they move with energy, right? The universe is energy. We are mostly made up of water, right? So water goes up, goes down. Our emotions go up and down. The planets move. Universe is moving. Stars are moving. Mercury is a planet that goes backward, and that plays with your energy.
Okay.
The movement is so drastic that it affects the energy, it affects the water inside of us, it affects our emotions, essentially. If what we're made up of, which is mostly water, there's so much movement, your emotions are also moving. So 3 or 4 times a year when Mercury moves backwards, retrograde, you always see exes coming up, ex-lovers, ex-friends, ex-boyfriends. Literally. You will, some more than others, will notice technology issues.
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes then energy needs to be released, and there's a lot of energy in your home during this time. You may experience a leakage, lots of water leakages in my lifetime.
Fascinating.
Yeah, so it's really a movement of energy, and it's moving backwards, and it affects the technology. I mean, there's actually a lot of professionals that will not sign contracts during this time.
I read.
Yes. And, or if you do sign contracts, you should, read every single, word. I mean, you should anyways, but,
Yeah.
cover it,
That's
reread it
fascinating.
multiple times. Yeah. Yeah. So it's
So that's
definitely,
their, Mercury in retrograde,
yeah,
affecting your mental, affecting your physical,
yeah.
It's financial.
I don't know
financial.
if you
I mean,
saw,
it's
but,
fascinating.
I think it's Klarna, right? The payment platform. I think is it Klarna or Credit Karma? I can't
Oh,
I
Credit
can't
Karma.
remember.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Credit Karma. It's
Yeah.
Credit Karma. So
Yeah.
they have a
Yeah.
advertisement where they reference Mercury retrograde.
That's so
I mean,
funny.
oh, you should look at it on YouTube. Yeah, it's hilarious.
So would
It's
you
hilarious.
say when Mercury's in retrograde, meditation can bring that peace and calmness to the person to help
Yes,
against that
with
virtue?
all these movements. Yeah,
Okay.
with all these
Utility.
movements. Right. I mean, there's things that are going to happen in our life. Challenges are going to always come, but you
Right.
want to be able to be best prepared for it. You want to have the calmness so you're making the right decisions, you're responding, not reacting in the proper manner. You're evolving
Yeah.
into your higher self. So
Absolutely.
that's what meditation does.
So with that, to dovetail what you've just said, so you're moving into like your sixth life now. So
I
what
think
is
so.
for someone who has um, dealt with trauma, persevered and persevered well, who's now clearly found a space where not only have you found like your own calmness, but now you're spreading that knowledge and helping others to find that. What does your future look like now, Pooja? Like what's your is there an end goal for you? Do you want to just try to help as many people as you can? Is there something more that you want to do with your meditation, your spirituality, yourself as a person? Is there something professionally outside of this that you want to do? What's going on there?
I so I always believe in shorter term goals
Okay.
because
Okay.
I think your soul is destined to be somewhere and you follow the breadcrumbs. But I want to be able to continuously spread hashtag goddess glitter. Goddess glitter. Yeah.
I love that. I saw that on your
To
website.
everyone. Yeah. I
Interesting.
mean, the goddess is tattooed on me around all of us, the feminine divine. So however that manifests, whether it's every single person having a crystal or every single person meditating, um, I definitely know that I do want to spread that glitter, that magic, and how that manifests, the universe is going to show me. And, I could have, I'm a Sagittarius, Pisces, Virgo. I could have multiple professions. And, the mind is constantly moving,
Yeah.
but at a very base level, yeah, it's definitely spreading the glitter.
I love that evolution. I
Me
love that
too.
evolution.
So you said right now, feminine divine, and you started this with the intent of helping or supporting women, right? And their
Yeah.
mental state, their
Yeah.
meditation. But you have said there are men now that come into meditation with you.
So, we, you know, helping women and not including men. I think that was, I could relate to what the women were going through.
Right.
We process emotions differently. I
You
couldn't
do?
speak. I I was like, oh my god. I'm like,
Maybe that's what I've been
like
doing.
I'm not in a man's body. I don't know biologically what's happening there, so I couldn't speak from my
I agree.
experience. But I definitely have male friends that I've guided, or we've spoken about and done some of these practices, and it's been helpful. So
Okay.
it's definitely a path that may open up. Um, but yeah, I think including everyone is the way to go.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And let me also say, Pooja, to your end, that the fact that you've done this and primarily have been helping women, I also think is amazing. I've been surrounded by amazing women all my life,
I
of course,
know.
Sabrina included. And it's always gratifying to see people just empowering those around them. And the fact that it's a majority of women could be because of your personal circumstances, but maybe to our point earlier, maybe your evolution is, as you're continually evolving, is to then, spread this to everyone,
Yeah.
and a greater number of men will see what you're doing, and as the women have find great value in it. I mean, just listening to you um, pushes me into that direction. Like, yeah, maybe I really
Right.
need to bring this into my mental sphere and kind of focus on a different way of decompression. Hopefully, we all have our ways of mentally decompressing, dealing with
Yeah.
stress. This for me may very well, and that's why I was asking you the question earlier about, does your body start to adjust and recognize, oh, it's been 20 minutes because you've been doing this for so long. So
Right.
hopefully it'll work for me the way it's worked for you, and I can
Oh,
figure
I
something
know.
out.
I
definitely.
feel that.
You know,
I could feel
it's
that
positive.
positive and
Yeah.
peaceful energy just through
Yeah.
a video with you.
I feel evolved here.
Show me the glitter.
Yeah. Yeah.
You love it.
Okay, I'm not
Oh.
ready for the glitter yet. I'm not committal to the glitter life.
Slime, do
but-
you?
Oh,
And
here
did
we
you
go.
saw the movie Trolls?
Oh gosh.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. You have to
Does
see that.
does he fart grit? No.
He poops glitter.
glitter?
Cutest thing.
And that glitter comes out, and you're like, ooh, it's weird at first. And then you're like, he's pretty cool. Like, he's bringing glitter to the world. Like,
So I think, Noel, tomorrow morning, you're going to wake up with some glitter.
I'm so open minded and ready for any sort of positive change that I'll invite that glitter in and live that glitter life.
I think
I have to say, when you say open-mindedness, like that, like you have to be so open. And I mean, I remember even in college, I feel like both of you were so open-minded. And I think, speaking as somebody who's grown up in a Indian culture or Indian family, we're the culture is very programmed to maybe not be so open to different elements. So I think you touching on open-mindedness, I think
Yeah.
you definitely have to be open to receiving, open to listening to the words, open to the experiences. So yeah, I think that's important
That's a great point.
aspect.
Pooja, if someone wants to start meditating, number one, and then meditating with you, where do they start? .com?
Yeah, go to naudywellness.com. You can join the email list, and we have meditations that we schedule, and we keep everyone known when the meditations are coming up. It's
And
either
they're
guided by my
digital, they're online and in
yeah,
person?
they're online.
Okay.
We're going to start in person again, and have other practitioners come on that are experts in different modalities. And for myself, I don't offer right now any one-on-one meditations, but that might be part of our evolution in the future.
Time that we do. Remember that thing we Yeah, you look Indian on them.
I know. That is hilarious. Now,
Don't worry,
Well,
please be right
we
back.
forget the cameras on.
Oh my gosh. Okay, naudywellness.com. I'm going to put that in the notes for everybody as well.
Amazing.
What else do you want to add? What other knowledge can you share with us to wrap it
Oh,
up
I have
today?
so much. I can talk
Oh.
about this like forever.
I can't wait. I'll
Forever.
tell you, I can't wait to get my pyrite stone.
Yes. I know. It's just, it glitters so much. I mean, I have a bunch of others in my little.
I love it.
Well, what happens if you're ambidextrous? Because you mentioned that you put it in your non-dominant hand. So I mean, like, no,
I don't know. Your energy's going to tell you. I can't answer that. You're going to
But
have to test it out and see, that's what you do. I test out everything, every modality. I'm like, I don't know about this. Let me try it out. And,
Okay.
it makes, I'm definitely not just going by
That's
what.
a good lesson to teach people, right?
It's
Don't
some-
Yeah,
go with,
whatever.
yeah,
everything that
yeah,
someone tells you is going to work. Yeah, it's
yeah.
subjective to what's going to help you.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
great point.
exactly. Because, my energy, for example, I know when I'm on a wave and I'm super stressed out, I know for me, it's going to take 24 hours to 48 hours to get off that wave. I know that now. Somebody else, it may take half an hour. Somebody else, it may take 20 days. But you just have to get to know your energy. Maybe somebody's more in tune with the planets, the astrology. Maybe somebody's more in tune with crystal healing. Maybe somebody's more in tune with physical workout and
Right.
less meditation, right? So you just really have to know yourself.
I'm actually in tune. I can tell when it's a full moon. Like I
Oh,
feel like I'm very in tune with people. So
I love
when
that.
people are acting weird,
We're like, it must be a
I
full.
was like, it's a full moon. And I'll look, and
Sure enough.
most of the time I am 100%. And then, or other times I'm a day off or so.
Yeah. So, during the full moon, the tides are high,
Okay.
right? And that's not even that's actual fact, right?
Yeah.
The
Right.
tide is high. And what's within us is water. So
Right.
the water is also being pulled up. That's why every full moon you're going to experience some, like it affects people in different ways.
It makes
And
them
then,
free.
Yeah. They're like, "Arr."
yes, yes. And then a lot of women, their periods, their menstrual cycles are also in sync with the full moon or new moon.
Oh, I did not
Yeah,
know that one.
yes,
Okay.
yes. Mine is,
Yeah, see, that's why we act crazier. It's full moon. We have PMS,
Yeah.
so don't blame us.
Double, triple, quadruple whammy.
let's see, it's happening within us physically.
And so if
How-
men meditated more, they'd be able to manage women
Yes, yes,
craziness
yes.
more.
Yeah.
No,
Kidding. No, go ahead.
I like the comment you just made about, finding what works for you, and that Sabrina pointed out, it is
Mhm.
subjective. And I think about just from my own personal decompression, I work out in my garage, Pooja.
Yeah.
And when I go
Seen the
out
video.
there, it's like, yeah, you know what it is? It's I go out there and I actually clean the garage for about 5-10 minutes before I even get started. And it's part of the process for me. And I mean this sincerely. Like, I know it's obviously getting some housework done, but I think it's my meaningful space. It's where I go to find myself and to think about things that are critical to me. And then when I'm going through the workouts now are less about the physical benefits, and it's more
Right.
about how I feel about me while I'm going through them. And for a while there, I was utilizing that, and I was doing some coaching to some athletes on the other side of the world through Instagram video. And
Amazing.
for me, it just quickly turned into, this is my me time. This is where I go to like get all the negative energy out and invite myself back into being a more positive soul or a positive person for whatever reason. And it's not that I go negative, but sometimes we
Right.
get overwhelmed by stress. And if we're
Sure.
not decompressing and removing that, like you're saying, that negative energy or that bad energy,
Sure.
we can't be the best version of
Yeah.
ourselves. And that, to Puja, for me, when I founded the Five Spheres, that was what I always wanted this to be, was about helping people be the best version of themselves. And if we could teach them how to organize, evaluate, and problem solve by looking at life in the five spheres, putting as much emphasis into your physical, mental, financial, social, and educational spheres, we could create these really balanced individuals who, when they were faced with stresses and problems, perhaps divorces or other traumatic situations, passings, that they would have the tools and resources to invite it in and deal with it and not have to feel like they're running away or being overwhelmed or being overstressed. So, I really appreciate the way you sort of laid out and your vulnerability here today of just talking about, man, this is what I went through. But my gosh, you absolutely 100% have persevered and become like this really phenomenal soul. It's such a pleasure to have you share
I
it
know.
with
I've
us,
enjoyed every second
you
of
know?
this.
Thank you
Can't
so
wait to see
much.
you
And
in New York and share with it and
I know,
maybe have a
share the
glass of wine,
energy.
Share the
Share,
energy. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
share
here
the
for it.
energy. I mean, we can definitely, feel it over virtual setting. And then in person, it'll be a different vibration or a maximized. I don't know. We'll have to find out, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to test
You
it
know,
out.
I got one last question. Talking about energy. For example, I'll give you an example. Someone is having financial issues, right? Um,
Yeah,
they lost their job. Okay. So times are
yeah,
stressful.
right.
Do you believe, and it could be any scenario, do you believe the negative energy you are thinking impacts the way you proceed with that challenge?
Yes. So I believe the negative energy creates self blocks
Okay.
and is blocking something from coming to you. I think positive energy helps you maintain a channel that's open and allowing things to come to you. We all fall in negative,
For sure.
mindset. It doesn't matter how much you meditate, but recognizing that and having the positive energy just keeps that channel open, right?
Right.
Allows more attraction to come to you, allows you to attract those new jobs, new opportunities to you. We're all energy. We're all positive, negative, neutral, right? And this is pulling in. So I do believe a healthy, positive mindset keeps the channel open, whether, you know, manifesting a new job, a new career, or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
on that professional side. Um, when that happens, that's something you cannot control, but you can control your mindset. You
Right.
can keep it and intentionally be positive. And I think that's very, very important for all of us in all aspects.
So this came up yesterday. My cousins, three cousins who are sisters, and I have a chat group, and it's about spirituality. And
Oh,
one example was um, your husband or your child or your friend wants you to do something, okay? And you say, "Sure, I'll come. I'll come with you to this event." But you have no desire to go to this event, but you're going to do it for them to make them happy. And so you get ready, you go with them to this event, and the entire time in your mind, you're like, gosh, I would rather be home watching Netflix. I would rather be doing this. I could be relaxing. I don't want to be here. And that negativity creates a blockage, like you said.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
changing that mindset,
Mhm.
if you are going to go because you want to go and give it good energy, right?
And go. And I always say follow your satya, which is truth,
Mhm.
right? So if you have such a blockage against doing certain thing, whether that's going somewhere or going, whether it's going to an event or participating, you should recognize that and possibly remove yourself from it or participate in a different way because
Right.
that negativity will go through other people, right? Like
Mhm.
people will pick up on that
It'll
negativity.
impact them. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think
Definitely.
it's but if you're neutral, okay, maybe it's just like, okay, I don't like it, but like, oh, okay,
Sure.
it's right, fine. But I think really recognizing your truth and knowing what is too far away from your truth and what is close to your truth.
Right.
Right.
I think that has such an impact on your 5 spheres.
I've learned that so much over the last, I'd say, 10, 15 years, that my attitude, and sometimes I'm not even aware how impactful I am around people. I was not aware of
Right.
that. But your negative energy, the way your mindset, just like you just said, Pooja, your mindset can really impact the way other people are feeling right in that moment. And so I'm trying to be more conscious about, body language, what I'm saying, when I say it, timing, things of that nature, and just trying to be a little bit
Yeah.
positive all the time.
And
Um,
also, I don't know who I was listening to. I think, was it Dr. Joe Dispenza? I can't remember who it was, but they say, and I do this uh, nearly daily, but they say start your day off with something that makes you happy. So
Yeah.
that could be a picture of my nephew. That could be, for me, it's very much so, it's either my nephew or music. Music just gets me in such a good mood, such a good mood. So, like, there's this whole step: meditation, music, and
I love that.
so somebody could have maybe an affirmation that they say every day that gets them in a good mood. It could be different things, different days. It could be Noel looking at Sabrina, and that, like,
Too much?
you know,
I was going to
Oh,
say that's his, mine is coffee.
Yeah. Ours is
I
probably
know.
Yes,
actively
it is.
just seeing Naeem's face
Yeah.
when you wake up.
It could be, like looking at your crystal every
Right.
morning,
Right.
right? So I think identifying, going back to where we started, the feeling,
Yeah.
right? Sabrina had mentioned the feeling, like what is going to make you feel positive? Because you can do all the positive thinking, but until you feel that, you're not reprogramming and you're not shifting your mindset.
I love that. I love it.
Yeah,
This has
absolutely.
been so great. I
But after like all these lifetimes,
yeah.
Lifetimes.
maybe we shouldn't say 5 because
That
we're going to think like,
5 lifetimes in 1 year. So
yeah.
this has been so great. I really appreciate it. I'm going to
Yes.
make sure your website is in the notes. People know exactly where to go to sign up. We will be signing up, correct?
Naughty wellness.
Thank
And
you.
make sure everyone just follows that hashtag God is glitter. That is, I'm all about it. So
I'm in it.
yeah,
Yeah, you will be tomorrow morning. Oh
thank
my
you.
God, Sabrina is thinking. She's thinking of ways.
Oh, easy. I just have to tell my girl, and she'll be all about God is glitter.
Oh my God, I know. It like keeps you young. Yeah.
It
So
does. And then get all these kids into meditation so that they grow up having that
yeah.
Absolutely.
strategy.
If kids had meditation, I remember we used to do that. You had to put your head down on your desk for like,
Oh,
a few minutes in school, and like you're just supposed to clear your mind, but no one ever utilized that concept of meditation. It was just like, just put your head down and shut up. Like that's really
Right.
what they could have done is maybe it's a great time to connect with your spirituality. Maybe it's a great
Yeah.
time to meditate. Maybe it's a
Yeah.
great time to just close your eyes and listen to your own breathing, like something that's decompressing in nature and that kind of can get you going and starting your day, a breathing exercise even. So,
Right. Even just simple breath work. I
yeah,
mean, that does wonders.
that's a game
And
changer.
that's huge.
yeah, I feel like we could continue talking.
I know. Well, we're going to have
I
to have
know.
you back. So thank you so
Well, we'll
much.
have to do something in person.
Yes. Yes.
know?
I love that.
We will manifest.
Thank you, Pooja.
Thank
Okay.
you so much. So wonderful to see
Alright.
you.
Same here. Same here. Thank you, Noel. Thank you, Sabrina. Thank you, Five Spears. Bye.